We are live here at Lenny Melnick's Fantasy Sports Network, folks. This is Cha-Cha, and we are going to go over the waiver wire moves, drops, and maybe a few other things this morning here at Lenny Melnick's FantasySports.com. Folks, good morning. If you're in the chat room, fantastic. If you're not, don't forget, in less than a half hour, you will have a 9 o'clock podcast with, hopefully, the great Lenny Melnick. Or someone else who does a hell of a job here. Okay? But let's get right to it. Today I'm a little bit early than normal, but I'm going to try. I have a lot to do today. I'll tell you, you guys are really hot and heavy on that waiver wire in every single league. Now, we have 3 leagues that are associated with this site. And I'm going to start off today with Andrea and Lenny's AL-only auction league. That's a 10-team league. It's a rotisserie league. And we're going to start it off today with our friend Doug Boyle, who has a show on Saturdays called The Dugout at 10 o'clock. Doug, last night, trying to bolster up his catching situation, took the great Tom Murphy. I spent, I believe, a whole $3. And he got rid of the Cisco kid, the Baltimore Orioles rookie catcher. He let him go, picked up Murphy for $3. Hopefully that helps him along the way. The first place leader in the league, Leclerc Gallo, as he goes by. Don't know his real name, and if he doesn't want to let me know what his real name is, I won't tout him out here, as he is leading the league and has led the league for most of the year. He spent $9 on Justin Smoke, who currently, I believe, is on the IL injured list. I don't know what that means at this point. I guess he's trying to stash him. He dropped the great Albert Pujols. Now, Albert Pujols is not the old Albert Pujols, but Justin Smoke on the IL list. Hopefully he's coming back for this Leclerc Gallo fella. Be back soon enough. Well, Pujols now will go on the waiver wire. Don't think he'll be there too long, folks. Andrea. That's right, Andrea Lamont. The Roto lady who has a show here on Monday nights, I think around 8 o'clock. She does a show with Chuck, that guy. She'll probably be doing a lot more stuff these days because her show with Lenny on Sunday on Sirius this next week from 7 to 10 o'clock in the morning. This is it. They're done with baseball over on Sirius. They're done with baseball pretty much just about everywhere these days. It seems football's going to be coming earlier and earlier. Why they need to do that is beyond my any reason I can understand. It's all about the do-re-mi, and when it comes about to the do-re-mi, football sells the most sponsorships, so that's the way they're going to go. So, with that, Andrea spent some money last night. Yes, she did. She picked up the great Jake Marisnick for $29. She dropped off back to the waiver wire. Twins infielder, outfielder, Adrianza. So Andrea gets rid of Adrianza of the Twins. Anybody needs a utility player, Mr. Adrianza is on their waiver wires. That's right, folks. That's about it for that league. Now, that league, again, it's tough because there's not a whole hell of a lot of guys in that league being only an AL auction-only league, so that was only 3 moves made in that league. We're moving on along to the Lenny Melnick Fantasy League, which we have a 15-team Roto League, and that league is very competitive. And the guys from Drought for Upside, who will do a show here a few times a week, they were having a tough time over here in this league, but they're not giving up. They picked up Yarrow Munez of the Cardinals and got him for nothing. Didn't spend a nickel for him. 0 bid, and they dropped Keon Broxton for him. The Sarasota Sunday Specials there, with Sonny running that team, picked up Adrian Sampson for nothing, once again, and dropped A.J. Minter. Our boy, Unholy, with his team, the Witness Protection Team, that's the name of his team, folks, he picked up Vinny Velasquez for absolutely nothing. And he got rid of Tyler Mahle. Goodbye, Tyler Mahle. Another poor performance last night for the Cincinnati Reds. I'll get into him a little bit later in this podcast, unfortunately. Unholy also picked up Terrence Gore. Now, Terrence Gore, what does he do? He gives you steals and when he plays, that's it. So he picked Terrence Gore up and dropping, had no more patience, didn't know when the White Sox were going to finally bring up Dylan Cease. Well, he ceased to keep him on his team for nothing, a zero bid, and he gets Terrence Gore. Myself, I had to make a move, seen a guy in a waiver wire that I thought might give me a couple of saves. Oddly enough, he's been getting a few saves for the Cincinnati Reds. Michael Lorenzen, I paid $2 for him, and I dropped Adam Ottavino. I like Adam Ottavino. He's good for a little bit of everything. But I need the saves a little more than I need, I guess, the ERA whip and the Ks. So I'm taking a risk there for $2. Ain't going to hurt me too bad. Hopefully Michael Lorenz gives me a couple of saves here or there. Now the leader of this league, Michelle Pollock, go figure is her name in the league. She's the smartest apple. Why? She picked up Jesse Chavez just before he pitched this fantastic game last night, I think. Well, I think she got it. If she got his stats last night, he pitched almost 7 innings, pitched a very good game. And she got him for $3. Dropping, I believe, the guy that was on the Indians for about a day or two, Adam Cervelli. Goodbye to Adam Cervelli. Hello, Jesse Chavez for $3. Nice move, go figure. I made another move. I dropped Teoscar Hernandez, and I dropped him on his head. And I picked up Dillinson Lamet. How's that, folks? For $3. Stashing him on my bench. Hopefully, by the next 2 weeks, he's starting to pitch again for the San Diego Padres. Now, DK Lush, he spent a couple of bucks, $22, that is, folks, dropping Ariel Jurado and picking up Bryce Wilson, another rookie sensation that's coming up to pitch for the Atlanta Braves later this week. There's a possibility that if he pitches very well, Bryce Wilson, you never know, he could get a starting gig there, and that would be a $22 well spent. Now, the last league we're going to go over today, folks, is the Trucker Rob's Flying High League. That's a 14-team head-to-head league, folks. And I got a little chat room chatting going on there. My friend Unholy not happening to like Dylan Cease too much as his minor league statistics starting to blow up on him down there. And basically, he had 2 words for him. I can't pronounce that on this podcast, otherwise I'd have to change it to explicit. So I'll just let it be said. If you're looking on chat room, you know what Unholy's talking about. He's not happy with Mr. Cease. Now let's move on to Trucker Rob's Flying High League. It's a 14 team. I think I mentioned this already, but I'll mention it again. It's a head-to-head league, folks. It's all about the head. In that league, J.R. Slice. That's right, J.R. Slice didn't spend any money. Absolutely nothing. Picked up Brad Keller of the Kansas City Royals for nothing, and he dropped Aaron Cervelli of the Cleveland Indians. Aaron Cervelli, once again, people went out and spent some money on this kid. Fortunately, came up, pitched the game, pitched pretty good. Everybody went crazy, dropped some money on him, and now he's back in the minor leagues. These are the things that happen with some of these fab guys you're going to pick up. If you notice that, I mean, you've been playing probably almost a half a year already. A lot of that happens a lot. More than not, these guys come up, even when they do well, it's not guaranteed that they're going to stay. So be cautious with that fab money. You'll need it. Now, myself, I picked up Vinny Velasquez after Tyler Mahle pitched for me last night. Obviously, I just talked about him a minute ago. Tyler Mahle, another rotten outing for the Cincinnati Reds. I don't think I'll be risking myself too much with him. Good morning, Andrea, in the chat room. I believe Andrea's going to be up at 9 o'clock today doing her podcast. Glad to see you in the chat room, Andrea. I didn't spend any money on Vinny Velasquez. I got him for absolutely nothing. He's going to have a start, I believe, this week against the Miami Marlins. If you can start Vincent Velasquez against the Miami Marlins, who can you start him against? Okay, folks. I also added, surprisingly, I had a spot open, and I lost a guy. I lost Jordan Hicks yesterday. I had to drop him because he's out for the rest of the year, so I had an open spot. I picked up Tanner Anderson, pitcher for the Oakland Athletics. I got him for nothing. Take a shot. My pitching this week, I'm trying to get a win or two out of my pitches. A couple of strikeouts here and there. My whip, my ERA for this league and a head-to-head league, more than likely, I haven't had a good week in ERA and whip in a long time, so I don't think Tanner Anderson's going to crush me in that area. If he gives me 5 innings, even if his ERA is over 4, and he gives me 5 or 6 strikeouts, and maybe I get lucky enough to get a win from him, I've spent nothing for the man. So thank you very much. Go get him, Tanner Anderson. Blaze, my boy Blaze won. That's the name of his team. My friend Joe, he went out there and picked up the rookie pitcher that's coming up. I think he's going to pitch today for the LA Dodgers, Tony Gonsolin. Tony Gonsolin is going to be picked up for $11 he paid for Tony. I thought he would have probably got him for nothing, but I guess he thought some other people were going to grab him, so he went out and spent a few bucks for him. He drops relief pitcher of the San Francisco Giants, Reyes Morante. Reyes Morante has had a pretty good year in his relief pitching, but I don't think too many people have him on their team. Now our boy Bob from Long Island taking a shot today, spent 20. I tell you, when Bob wants a guy, he spends money. He definitely spends money. Easy Kill, welcome to the chat room. He had a couple of two letters for me in the chat room, and I reciprocate those same back to you. UF, Pimple Puss. Bob from Long Island picks up Adrian Hauser. Anybody know who Adrian Hauser is? Well, he had an open spot on his team, so he picked up Adrian Hauser for actually an open spot. He dropped Ryan Stannis. Ryan Stannis or Stannis, how do you say him? From the Rays for $25. Adrian Hauser. I hope he does the right thing for Bob. I believe he's pitching today for the Milwaukee Brewers. He's getting a start. He's one of their relief pitchers. I don't know if he's going to go more than 3 innings today, folks. I don't think they stretched this guy out. Last pick, or I shouldn't say pick, but probably the biggest surprise that you guys are going to hear today from me is telling you about a player that got dropped. Now, this player is one of the finest players that you're ever going to see get dropped. Nice guy, great defense, just came back from an injury. But this team, my friend Blaze won. My boy Joe, he said, I believe he's a Yankee fan too. So if he's a Yankee fan, he actually dropped. Now get this, folks. Didi Gregorius has been dropped. So you never know. Some people, they're loaded with a good offensive team, and they don't want to get rid of even a half-wit pitcher sometimes. They'd rather keep a guy like Didi Gregorius on their bench and not even try to trade him. I honestly, I think you probably could have got something for Didi Gregorius. Don't you agree? But he has his reasons. I don't know. Again, I am going on the assumption that Didi Gregorius is not injured. I haven't looked at the injury reports today. I know he didn't play last night for the Yankees. That might be a cautious situation there. Maybe he's injured again. I'm not sure. I know he hasn't lit up the scoreboard since he's come back from his injury. But in a loaded Yankee lineup, I even I thought myself, I dropped Brett Gardner the other day. And after I thought about it, I said, that wasn't the best move, because the one thing about Brett Gardner, he seems to play, even when the Yankees have 5 outfielders, DHs and everything else, Brett Gardner seems to get on the playing field, one way or the other. And when you're in that Yankee lineup, more than likely he's going to come up with men on base. So I know he's on the waiver wire, now that I'm telling everybody. More than likely, Brett Gardner, I don't think that was my shining moment of the year, getting rid of him to the waiver wire. So with that, today, just to give you guys, we got 11 minutes till we go to the 9 o'clock podcast. Andrea, I believe, is going to be doing it. I don't know if Lenny is playing pool boy today over at his condominium place. He sometimes has to, he's part of the, Lenny's part of the HOA committee. That's the people that take care of the grounds where he lives. They take care of the pool. They take care of the bocce courts. They take care of the tennis courts, the golf field, the washroom, all that stuff. And sometimes he's got to be over